Hello everybody, I'm Kenneth Garner with FilmAmerica.net, and for today's how-to, we're going to tell you how to self-tape an audition. Now, first things first, make sure you have talent. I mean, it sounds crazy, but there's nothing worse than pursuing a dream that you suck at. So if you're not sure if you got the talent or not, ask a family member, ask a friend, ask an agent, but make sure you get the talent to actually do what you want to do. All right, so next, one of the first things we want to do, once you get the script from your casting director, you don't have to have your lines memorized. But if you do, it makes the process a whole lot easier. Also, have someone to read for you. Now, they should not be in character when they read or try to act out a character or do any type of voices. Just read the opposite lines that you have of your main character and read them in a regular vocal format. Make sure you are in a well-lit place. Try to avoid any shadows on your face because casting directors want to see what you look like. And if you look at me right now, I don't have any shadows, I'm well lit. You can see what I look like and get an idea of what your character may look like. Make sure your background is a plain flat color. Now, for the sake of what we're doing in the studio, the background is green, but at home, typically your background is probably going to be maybe like a cream color, a gray or light blue or something like that, but don't do any bright colors for your background. Just keep it plain and simple. Next, make sure you are well groomed. Don't go in there with your beard out, unshaven, and your hair looking crazy. Do your hair wherever that style is. What you wear on the self-tape should be very basic. It could be a button down, it could be a t-shirt. It's fine, a sweater like that I have on. Sometimes you can dress like the character, but don't go overboard with it, only if it's a real simple dress up. But avoid red, white, or all black if you can. And for ladies, don't wear a lot of makeup. Very light makeup, natural looking, fresh face, but don't get too heavy because you're almost like a blank palette or a piece of paper that the director wants to paint. So they want to see what you naturally look like. Also, some of the tools you're going to use at home, if you have them available, you can use a DSLR. If you don't have a DSLR like a Canon 80D, you can use your camera phone. Now, if you are using your camera phone, make sure to hold it horizontally. Don't hold it vertically like you may see on Instagram or any type of social media. You want to hold it horizontally so that the casting agent can see the space that you're in. Also, you want to get a tripod and a tripod adapter for your camera phone if needed. And also, if you can afford it, you can purchase an external mic. Now, you can use the audio from your camera or your camera phone, but if you have an external mic that you can plug into your camera or your camera phone, that's going to be a little bit better for your audio because you got to make sure they hear you. And Rode has a nice, affordable options for different small mics like the Rode Go. Where you don't have to hide your mic necessarily for your audition. Just make sure it's not distracting. And to get a better idea of what I'm talking about, we're going to switch to a wide view of the studio we're in. And from this camera you can see in the back that I'm talking to, this is a studio camera and it's on a big tripod. Now, of course, at home you're not going to have that type of budget, but you get the idea. You want to have a camera and a tripod facing you with audio so that you have a good quality picture, and you want to have some lights. Typically, you may have a key light coming from this way and another light coming from this way. You don't necessarily have to be backlit, but you want to make sure you got two light sources at least casting out your shadows. And that piggybacks on being in a well-lit place. And as we go back to the main shot, again, make sure in your well-lit place, but also make sure that you're in a quiet place. Now, before you do your audition, you want to do a slate. And what a slate is a slate is your basic information that lets the casting director know who you are. So a slate, you will be looking at your camera, saying your name, your agency, location, and the character you are reading for. So now we kind of went over the do's and don'ts of self-taping. So it's time to self-tape. So once you're ready to self-tape, this sounds silly, but it happens all the time. Make sure you hit record on your camera and go back to your mark. So if you didn't already, put a piece of tape on the ground or something so you know where to come back to, so you want to keep your focus. So go back to your mark. Do not deliver your lines directly into your camera. Have your reader stand either to the left or to the right, or left or right, whichever it is for my camera, to the right side of the lens, and your line of sight should be towards them, whether it's this way or this way. And once you say your lines, you're all done. You just auditioned for a role. Clap your hands, give yourself a round of applause. So right now, let's take a look at an audition. We're actually going to do one, and we're going to look at the project that I actually booked from doing an audition. All right, so first we're going to do a slate. Hello, my name is Kenneth Garner. I'm with the McCrae Agency, and I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm reading for the role of security guard. All right, so now we're going to actually do the audition.
How are you doing, sir? It's nice to see you. I'm here to see Train.
Everybody here to see Train.
That's a good one. No, I'm actually a special guest. I gave the boy his break. The name's Vernon Brown.
Your name's not on the list.
Hey, wait a minute. You didn't check the list for those two.
Hot chicks. And people, that is an audition. So go out there, do your auditions, and book that gig. So now we're going to watch the actual production that was booked. Thanks.
Listen, those seats were just fine. I don't want to cause any trouble or anything.
Oh, no, don't be silly. I'm sure they just gave us the wrong tickets, that's all. How you doing, sir? It's nice to see you. I'm here to see Train.
Everybody here to see Train.
Ha! That's a good one. No, I'm actually a special guest. I gave the boys a break. Name's Vernon Brown.
You're not on the list.
Hey, wait a minute. You didn't check the list for those two.